Hello everybody and welcome back to Imperator Rome, where we are on the beta version 2.0.4, and we are also running the Terra Indomita mod. So let's hop directly into single player. Here we're going to play a new game, and it'll generate the world from history. In my experimentation earlier, it seems like this takes it a hot minute, so that is okay. It's a fair amount larger of a world map from the base game, no doubt about that. But I've already determined, I think, who we want to play as here. Now, I want to throw out a caveat here. I'm choosing this for its location, okay? I'm not choosing this for its mission tree because it doesn't have one. We're going to have to make up something of our own in terms of missions, and that's okay. That is not a problem. So let's just get this loaded on in. It'll happen eventually. Like I said, it definitely takes a little bit longer, and you can see, oh yeah, world map is definitely bigger. Here we've got Japan, here we've got China, here we've got this area. What do I even call this? Just like Southeast Asia, I guess. We've got India out over here, of course. That's part of the base game. And all the way up over here, we've got Western Europe. Fantastic. We're not going to play in Europe, though, obviously. We're going to play down here. I want to play as Candace down here. This is going to be an interesting place to start, and judging by the name of the series, which you probably are already aware of, I actually have a name picked out already. The Ends of the Earth. Glorious. So we're going to be starting here. This is really far away from everything. It'll give us a chance to observe kind of what ends up happening up here in the Warring States and get a bit of a feel for how this mod plays out up this direction. So that'll be very interesting. It'll allow us to push up this direction. There's a lot of colonization that's actually going to have to happen up over here, which is something that we don't usually do all that frequently in Imperator, so that'll be very interesting indeed. There's also a lot of impassable terrain up over this way. So this is going to be a big old choke point down over here. No doubt about that. Now, again, I want to point out, this is not a nation with a mission. There are no nations in Southeast Asia that have missions, as far as I can tell. I mean, they have generic missions, but they don't have bespoke mission trees. And that's okay. We don't have to play something with a bespoke mission tree. So let's just... Those fanfares seem very loud. Okay. We're just going to dive right on into this. Let's start and let's take a look. We are now officially further than I've ever gotten in Terra Indomita. So, okay, there we go. Terra Indomita is based upon Imperator Invictus, which we previously played the Invictus mod, and fully integrates all of the content in Invictus. Terra Indomita also uses a map and many other assets from the Chinese To the End of the World mod. See, I didn't realize that. Okay, now my series name sounds kind of derivative. It's not intended to be. I guess I'm doing it a little bit differently because I'm calling it The Ends of the Earth, but okay. It adds many great features from better UI and full mechanical overhaul, and Terra Indomita is meant to be a standalone mod. This is the only mod we have installed. We do not currently have installed Invictus. So, these are the devs. That's absolutely great. Thank you for that, devs. And we are going to hop straight in. So this is impassable terrain down here. This is a settlement down this way. And we can actually immediately colonize that. Okay. Why not? So that costs us 500 manpower, and that's okay. We'll get started on that. So that colonization is going to take some time. This has definitely been changed from last time I did colonization in this game. No doubt about that. So where do we see the progress on that, actually? Presumably it's this bar, but we're not getting a tooltip on that. Okay, we can also colonize Bahal, which is this right up over here, which we would absolutely love to do. Right-click to colonize? I'm going to left-click it. Let's see what happens. We zoom to it. Okay, interesting. So we're going to get those going. We are apparently limited to 2 colonizations, and that does eat up a lot of manpower. So that is absolutely noted. Now, taking a look at what we've got going on here. We've got a fort here. This does have that fort there. We do not have any settlement structures here. We've got 120 gold at this moment. Okay, so we produce precious metals here. We produce rice. This is vegetables and pearls. Okay, and in our capital, we produce spices. Sounds good. So we only have one possible building here. Even our capital is actually only a settlement. So we'll want to get that upgraded eventually. And how do we do that at this point? This appears to be significantly different. Okay, so we're currently a settlement, and we would like to upgrade it. Okay, yep. So this is definitely different in the UI, but that's okay. We can definitely work with that. No major problem there. I kind of prefer the other UI, but it's not all that relevant. It's the same it's the same functionality, essentially. So we've got enough political influence to do that, but that's going to be a lot of gold. Noted. So we can get an invention here. We have 4 innovations, and we probably want, for right now, to be focused on economy, I think. So that would basically mean we can do, like, right to be heard to get citizen output right away off the bat? Okay. Well, that's exciting. We would want tribesman or slave. What is our pops? Also, what is this? The Hellenistic age. Ooh. Okay, this is kind of neat. So this works a lot. I don't know if this is part of the 2.04 update or if this is part of Terra Indomita, but this works a lot like the ages in Imperator. It's basically the same mechanic, or not in Imperator, in Europa. This is Imperator. This is basically the same system, it looks like, as the ages in Europa. I like it. That's pretty neat. So we have 2 navies, which is 2 more navies than we should have, for sure. Okay, that's something. But I do want to get to work on some of these, specifically civic advances here. I think working our way down to property tax would be good. So let's grab standardized measures. There we go. We can grab a property tax and logistics bureau. I don't think logistics bureau is that important right now, although it probably will be later. I kind of want to make our way from property tax directly down into opus cimenticium, we'll go with. Okay, sure. So that seems absolutely fine. And from there, we can grab an additional national tax bump. So that seems good. Then we can call down an omen. Now we've got the deity of economy here, and that sounds great. We're going to go directly for the deity of economy, although national population growth is pretty good. Wait, this is just going to give us slaves needed for surplus. This is the base power. Right. There's no secondary effect here, so we can't actually call on this. Okay, that's neat. Monthly civilization change, loyalty of characters plus 5.35. That's intriguing. I guess slaves needed for surplus isn't bad, per se. So let's do that for now. We have a free idea slot. And how many free idea slots do we have right now? Well, let's grab an oratory idea here. Monthly corruption reduction. Loyalty of generals and admirals will be pretty good later, but that's probably not necessary right now. Improve opinion maximum. I think we'll take the corruption reduction. And then for our military idea, what do we want? Morale of armies is pretty solid. Yep, there we go. So that'll do for now. Abandon sedentary lifestyle. Okay, so we are sedentary. That is good to know. So now we can probably almost think about unpausing, but we have unused trade routes. I want to go into our trade overview here, and we're going to accept all trades. There we go. And block surplus. Cool. So that'll be fine. That'll allow us to essentially auto trade, and that will be great. Now, how much is it going to cost to upgrade each of these? Well, how much of these do we want to have not be a city? We definitely want this to be a city, right? No doubt about that. Council of Elders, Colony. There's some new buildings here. Crafts Workshop, Nomad Camp, Hunting Camps. Yeah, there's definitely some new stuff here. Okay, so that is noted. I want to check in here. This is settlement buildings, right? So Colonia here would give us conversion and assimilation speed. That's really not what I want. We want to probably optimize for these precious metals, so we would end up building a mine here. We don't have enough for that. We need at least 156, so we're going to have to tick forward here. Ooh, look at that. That bar filled up a little bit. Beautiful. So where do we actually see the progress on this? Maybe it's in the rank info? No. I guess it's only visible here. I wish there was a tooltip for that. And each of these is reducing our national tax by 1%. Okay, that's noted. That is offset by the gains that we took. And yeah, we have a bad research ratio. That's not surprising. Character focus. Ooh. Okay, so we could go for martial, oratory, civic, or zeal focus. Which do we want to go on? We're going on civic focus. And to that end, this works a lot like Crusader Kings. Okay. National population growth. These are time limited. Okay. So we're going to have to wait for him to get a civic focus there. I guess we have to wait until he gets the experience. Every month, the ruler of a nation will gain 2 character experience. More can be gained from events and other actions. Okay, so at that point, we would just wait for this to fill up, and then we could spend it in any of these trees. Understood. That sounds good. No problem whatsoever there. And we're also seeing the centralization over here. That's not new, but we're at 0% centralization. Okay, absolutely noted. So I'm immediately noting that this is considered part of Panay now, but we're colonizing it. We'll see how that plays out. This is not considered part of Panay. So can we just colonize our enemies and spread that way? That would be interesting. If we did that instead of like trying to conquer, we just colonize and breed them out. That would be interesting. No doubt about that. It would be kind of slow. We're limited by 2 colonization territories right now. That might be something that we can fix in technology. I'm wondering here. These do not seem to be different in any significant way, at least currently. So I'm wondering how we can get more colony territories. It might be under oratory, although I wouldn't think so. Okay. So we've got this here. Anything else? Nothing in here. Religious advances. Anything in here? No. Martial advances, there shouldn't be. So I don't think that's how we're going to go about doing that. Interesting. We might just be limited to 2. But I'm really curious to see how this plays out with this technically being under the control of Panay over here. That'll be very, very fascinating. So obviously, we are lacking a navy right now. Or rather, we're lacking leadership for our navy. We need to build up our manpower, and we're only gaining 17 per month. So that means that manpower, despite this colonization cap, manpower is going to be our primary limiting factor for being able to expand via colonization. So that is understood. And hypothetically... Okay, so we don't seem to be able to colonize these areas. Hypothetically, we couldn't seem to reach up here. That's probably a colonial range of some type. I'm wondering about up over this way. Probably lack of border. Noted. So this doesn't seem to require the pops. It's now a manpower thing. I'm really curious to see what happens after this gets filled up. So after this bar finishes. This is uncontested. So that doesn't really matter. I just expect it to become part of our territory. But I'm really, really curious to see how it works with Bahal up here. We should probably bump it up to speed 4 from speed 3. So let's do that. And we're definitely seeing this manpower coming in here. So we're at 128 gold right now. We're going to want to start to work on getting our economy a little bit more online, for sure. So we need 156 gold to build a mine. Noted. How much are we paying for that fort? Out of curiosity. 0.4. I'm going to crank that down a little bit. 0.34 now. It's not a huge amount of gain for us, but it'll be some anyway. 1.6 and 1.66. Yep, that's where we expected that to be. Perfect. So that is fine. We're going to finish up our colonization here. And then the question is, what exactly happens with Bahal? So that is going to be a very interesting thing. No doubt about that. I'm not planning on going to war anytime soon based on what we've been seeing here, right? So this is all Mentawai in Candace. Yes, this is considered part of Candace now? Not technically. Okay. Well, we'll let this finish up. This is all considered part of the same state here. Yeah, so there we go. That became part of our territory, which was fully expected. This is how we expected this to play out. They produce fish here, which is very unsurprising. Do we have anything to boost up fishing? I mean, slave estates? Potentially. Villa estates are interesting. No doubt about that. Farming settlement, quite possibly, if we can build a farming settlement there. I'm not sure if we can. But for the moment, I'm really curious to see what happens with Bahal. It would be very interesting to be able to just colonize enemy territory and be like, this is mine now. And it doesn't look like the game's going to let us do that. We can't start it this way, but it did end up working out that way because we immediately started colonizing it. I'm interested in seeing what happens here. Does this flip to us? Because we started it before they took it over, right? Does this just disappear? So this is until 25 November, so this is not too much longer. That's good to know. Now, we're probably going to have to go to war. That's not shocking, necessarily. So we'll prepare for that. Is this a city up here? This is a city, and this is a city as well. So our lack of city is definitely going to be punishing for us. 100 gold. It belongs to Candace. We're going to take the 100 gold. Thank you very much. So that's great. With that 100 gold, that means we can immediately invest in this mine. Consider it done. So we're going to get that going, and that mine is going to start making us some additional precious metals eventually. It takes 13 slave pops to produce an additional precious metal right now. This will, of course, give us +1 base resource production, as well as reducing that by 5. So that'll be very, very convenient for us. That will mean that this will be every 8 pops, and we'll get 2 precious metals. So, of course, we don't have 8 slave pops here. We've got 2, but that's fine for the moment. Okay, so that all looks good. Let's find out what happens with Bahal here. It did become ours. Well, that's intriguing, isn't it? I wish we could colonize everybody around us and just spread via colonization. Sadly, there's nowhere we can actually colonize at this moment, and to be honest, that's good for our manpower pool. That is quite good for our manpower pool. So we managed to steal this away, and Panay wants an alliance. I'm strongly considering declining this. Reason being, I want to attack Panay, and I want to do it reasonably soon. Like, how strong do we think they are? They have a power base of 22, but that's not actually what I care about. What I care about here is this. So, they have 23 pops compared to us, who have how many pops? We have 48. We should be able to win this, in theory. And I would like to potentially declare war, but this is without a CB, and so we're going to need to fabricate a claim out over here. We'll get going on that, and that'll be absolutely fine. We'll fabricate that claim. That'll be done fairly soon, actually. 1 May 453, so yeah, it'll be a little over a year, but that's not too bad. Cool. In that time, we can, of course, be working on building up our treasury a bit. And that's absolutely okay. Now, what do we produce up here? Sheep. Specifically livestock. Okay. So that is reasonably fine. And this one was rice. We have a lot of food production over here. We can probably support 2 cities off of our food production, from the fish here to the rice here to the livestock up this way. And this is vegetables. So we have a lot of food production here. We may want to consider having these pearls be a city. Yeah, that's probably okay. I don't necessarily love it producing pearls, but okay, it's fine. I would like to be able to colonize additional areas. That would be amazing. But unfortunately, I think that's the best we're going to get done there. So up over here, yeah, I think we would need to have borders up here. That's fine. We're, of course, going to need a way to cross over here. For now, we're just going to be focused on capturing our little island over here. That's going to be the prime goal there. Now, we've got Barris over here. They're in an alliance with Aru. Okay, that's noted. Pasai is not in any... Wait, we have a CB on them? Or they have a CB on us? They have a CB on us. Okay, noted. And then Lemuri up over here is kind of the boss of this little island. There's still only 24 pops, though, so it's probably not an issue. They have a truce and a CB. Okay, noted. So these two are going to be the problematic ones. We'll see how that ends up going. But for the time being, I'm fairly pleased with how this has gone already. I'm very glad that we managed to steal this away from Panay, together with its 9 pops. That's actually a significant number of pops for this stage of the game, so that seems great. Very, very pleased about that. And down here in this rice, we should probably consider building a farming settlement. What is that called in this version of the game? Yes, right here, a farming settlement. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, so that's going to be definitely interesting. We're currently producing a lot of food down here. That's great. We're going to continue to work on that. Farming settlements cost 156. Yeah, these settlement buildings are like 156 across the board. So that's fine. Our economy is going to take a little bit. Ooh. This can put us at odds with Barris, but a tribesman will move over. We will take a pop. Absolutely. Pops are life. Pops are great. You really, really want as many pops as you can get. So that's all great. We're seeing this tyranny drop down naturally, and our corruption is, well, not here. Our corruption is on our character, but that's all fine. This is all looking relatively good. Barris has declared us an enemy of their nation. Okay. I wish them luck. We see a commercial district being built up here in Panay. That seems okay. Is this the de jure capital of this state? Probably. We might just want to move our capital up here and just have this be a territory. Because this is all part of one state, right? I tend to prefer having about one city per state, generally speaking. So this could work. That could absolutely work fine. I haven't looked at our military. Okay. That's an okay levy. We've got some heavy infantry. It's not bad, all things considered. So that'll be fine. That will be raised up somewhere over... Where would that be raised? Here, probably? Probably. That's all fine. We've got 170 days left on our mine. We're going to have a decent shot at having enough gold to get another structure building soon enough, but it's slow here at the beginning. No doubt about it, but we're going to continue to ramp up that income. That is absolutely vital, especially once we can get our hands on this city. That will be very, very solid for us. Only 0.13 income right now, but we'll be able to develop that. They produce sugar? Okay, noted. So that's fine. We're probably going to want to spec it into being like a research city, though, so we'll see how that ends up going. Panay still wants an alliance. I'm still declining. We are going to conquer them. We're very close to getting our claim fabricated at this point. So, very, very soon now, we'll attack Panay. That's probably going to end up being a next episode thing, though, is my guess. Most likely. Okay, that's absolutely fine. I feel like this was a pretty solid start. We are in a good spot to conquer this island, and from there, we can definitely start trying to head up this way via colonization and get those dealt with, and then from there, just start to go onto the mainland over here and just push our way northward. That would be the overall concept, and I would love it. I do like this colonization system. The changes there are good. Again, I'm not entirely sure how much of this is part of the Terra Indomita mod and how much of it is in the 2.04 beta patch. We'll see. We're not going to send Panay gold. Absolutely not. That is not going to happen. Okay, so 1 May is when this claim fabrication is going to be finished. So that is going to be our declaration on Panay. Of course, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to attack Panay and continue to work on taking over Indonesia. This is Indonesia, right? It's a little hard for me to tell when we have a lot of this down here that's hidden. I'm pretty sure it is. I might be wrong about that. We'll not find out. But we need to expand up this way, maybe get a toehold onto the mainland up here as well. We'll see how that ends up going. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.